if I'm choosing a goaltender today, it's weird because Vasilevsky's always been my guy. If I just had to, it was Pekka Rinne into Vasilevsky. If I had to build a goaltender, if you ever seen Vasilevsky off the ice, his head is twice the size of mine, and his eyes are like, he's like a mascot. He's so big, and he just is everything about him. He's just a huge man, and he's built to be a goaltender. Roberto Luongo had size 15 feet, which was weird. So I look at guys who are just built to be a goaltender. Vasilevsky's my guy. I think he's more rested this year. I saw they gave up, what was it, 6 against Boston last night. I thought they lost against Boston. I didn't get a chance to watch that game. But Vasilevsky's always been my guy. But I think Hellebuck is, if you look at his body of work over the last two years, it's hard to argue what Hellebuck brings to the table every night. And the crazy thing about Hellebuck is he just plays every night. Back to back, whatever's needed, he plays. And one other thing I will add on Hellebuck. I don't know if you remember watching his year-end press conference last year, where they didn't play well against Colorado. He gave up a bunch of goals. Colorado found a formula to get traffic in front of him, and they were shooting around him. Hellebuck starts his press conference going, I don't know if you guys are going to believe this, but I felt great.
I think I'm playing some great hockey right now.
I've never played better hockey. And people are like, are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
And Hellebuck has this, just for me, this aura, this demeanor about him. He can give up 7 and he'll come out and go, yeah, I felt great. Just didn't work for me. Like there's this ability of amnesia or a belief in just, he knows what it takes, and he knows, like, if he's good or not, how he feels. And he doesn't make any apologies for it. And I love that. I love that about him. And obviously that team feeds off him. I think there are maybe goaltenders that might have more raw skill, but his whole package is hard to argue with how elite he is right now and has been the last couple years.
This feels like most goalies do this. And every year he's a Vezina finalist. And if he isn't, it's like, whoa.
Yeah,
he's just year every year he's there.
But if you went back and looked at him statistically, in his 20s, it was good year, bad year, good year, bad year. And then it got to a point where it's like, okay, the bad years are kind of disappearing, and this guy's morphed into. And if you look at him from a style standpoint, you talk to a lot of goaltenders, a lot of guys don't like the way he plays because he's very rigid. And the one thing I like, he holds his edges. Like, there's plays he stands up and makes saves, where every goalie now is butterfly and then try and find the puck. He's like, I'm going to stay on my feet. And there's times where you get beat 5-hole where you're just standing there, like, and he gets beat 5-0 and it goes, yeah, went 5-0. I never had that confidence because I'm like, God, that looks terrible. And you're watching it on the Jumbotron going, yeah, he didn't even move, but he held his edges. Like, to me, he has this confidence and this aura about him. It's pretty impressive.
The Jets are going to be a funny one to watch down the stretch here because they're very good. I'm looking here, 63 points, tied with the Caps. How many, because when the prognosticators have to make their picks, who's going to have the faith in them to go with them again as a favorite? Because last year they looked real good.
And 2 years ago,
got bounced by Colorado in round 1.
Their first place in interdivision 2 years ago and tumbled to a wild card.
Yeah.
So
they limped.
Back years of
they limped. Yes, they limped into the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And, remember, was it Rick Bowness at the end of the year, like, basically called out the players? Was that 2 years ago or last year?
2 years ago, yeah.
And Maurice,
like,
his hands and walked away.
Quit.
It's been a lot. Yeah.
So something was fishy there for a bit. And I don't know if they were able to clean that up, or it was just, addition by subtraction of players out of that room. I don't know what it was, but they seem to have gotten their act together. But I agree with you. It's a great point. How many people are going to put their hand up? Because for me, about 5 years in a row, I kept saying that this is, Winnipeg is the deepest team. I don't see a weakness in their lineup. Chevy's done a really good job. And then all of a sudden, Colorado just goes in and rinses them. And you're going, okay, now what do we believe in? And to be honest, Hellebuck does have something to prove statistically in the playoffs. His last 3 or 4 playoffs haven't gone the way he's wanted to. So I think there will be pundits, all of us, saying, I don't know if I believe in them. It's, I'll believe in them when you show me that. I live in Toronto. That's the mantra here. We'll see you in April. That's because and in April they're cup favorites all year long, and then what happens in the playoffs? I don't know. Now, do they break through? This is year 9 for them in Toronto. We'll see.
Well, you mentioned I never thought of Vasilevsky as a mascot, but it's probably not a terrible comp.
That's your boy with the eyes there. Yeah,
he's intense.
I love the guy. Like,
you see the puck.
That means he's focused on the puck. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He is so good, and he's just kind of got this demeanor. Like, I don't know, was it him being interviewed? Was it this year where he's being interviewed and somebody farts and he can't control himself laughing? Was that this year or last year? Yeah. I don't know. They all blend together, but I just think, Tampa, they did it. He was the backbone, and then people have just forgotten about them. I still think Tampa's a top-tier team. I really do. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll make some moves at the deadline, as they always do, to kind of add.
And they've been eliminated by Florida, I think, each of their last couple. So you might be a great team. You could still lose to Florida in round 1. They did it last year.
That's the Winnipeg Jets and the Calgary Flames in the Smythe division.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Bad timing. Exactly.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.